MTG Tech with number 67 here, doing an M14 preview. I'm actually currently working on my top 10 list for M14, but I wanted to get a few thoughts out there early. I'm also using a new program today, Screencast-O-Matic. If you've got any feedback on the program, please let me know, or tips on how to use it. I'm trying this on a secondary computer where I don't have Camtasia installed. So, first thing that I'm really excited about is the reprints. Mutavault was a wonderful card originally. It's a great card for the flavor of this set, considering Slivers, which I'll get to a little bit later. And it's really nice to see a playable fan favorite that was $30 or $40 be printed at the rare level, not moved up to the mythic level. So it's going to be extremely easy to get a hold of for a little while here. After M14 rotates out, this card will go up in value, and I'm probably not going to see this card in future sets for a while, so I would pick them up now while they're cheap. Ratchet Bomb is also another great one to see in this set. It's definitely going to put a damper on some of the token decks, but it helps deal with things like Voice of Resurgence and Advent of the Worm. I love having this card come back. This is a huge boon for the control decks. It gives some punch to the Esper or Grixis control style decks for dealing with those massive token decks. Now, there's a bunch of cards at the mythic level that other people aren't that happy about, but I'm actually really happy about. These are great EDH playable, fun cards. I would rather see the super playable tournament cards at the rare level and the fun casual cards at the mythic level, and that's exactly what Wizards is doing in this set. Not going to go over these individually, but they're great cards for EDH or a fun kind of casual kitchen table Magic. Ooh, Chandra. I could do a whole video just on Chandra. I want Chandra to be good. I want Chandra to be amazing. I want Chandra to be the next Jace. I'm not sure what happened to Chandra, but apparently her casting cost is too high, or they misprinted a 3 damage as a 1 damage instead. I'm really disappointed in the new Chandra that has come out. I like the character of Chandra, and I want her to be great. But right now, I think she's significantly worse than Jace, Architect of Thought, because the 0 ability, although it keeps her in loyalty, nets less cards. And if you drop Chandra on turn 4 right after you dropped a land, there's a good chance that top card is going to be a land and you're not even going to be able to play it. So you've got an ability here that's in the same spot as Jace the Mind Sculptor's Brainstorm, but instead of even getting a single card or being able to cast that card if it's a low casting cost in some way, you can end up getting 0 cards out of this ability. Number 2 issue here is that the +1 ability, the kind of defensive ability that you need to keep the Planeswalker alive, is definitely not here on Chandra. Maybe they're trying to create this new mid-range archetype where you do some damage, you get some card advantage, but Chandra does not have the ability to protect herself on an open board. So post-wipe, you're not doing much damage to your opponent. Maybe you can get a little bit of card advantage with the 0. I'm not impressed, though, with this +1 ability. It's great if you need to push through the last few points of damage with a single blocker there, but it assumes that you also have a creature to get through. So with cards like Supreme Verdict in the environment, and even Terminus for a short period of time left here, Chandra does not get through the punch that you really need in a forecaster. At this point, I would much rather play a Hellrider or something that's going to hit the board and hit hard. Let's also compare Chandra for a second to Ral Zarek. Ral Zarek in blue-red has Lightning Bolt pasted onto Ral Zarek, and Chandra, who's solid red, is only doing 1 damage. I'm not sure what direction they're trying to take red here, but I don't think Chandra is going to make any impact at all on Standard. This really hurts my feelings. I wanted Chandra to be Chandra the Amazing. Slivers. Slivers warm my heart. I love these little guys. Used to play them in Legacy. Counter Sliver is an amazing deck, and what they're starting to do now is reveal a few Slivers that are pushed in power level that could have a significant effect on the environment. And when combined with Mutavault in the environment, we could be seeing some pretty powerful Slivers come forward. This Gale Rider Sliver is basically Winged Sliver, which was a staple in all the Sliver decks. but one less casting cost. Giving your Slivers flying on turn 1 is just an amazing, great ability. I also like the Siphon Sliver here. Lifelink is going to let you deal with some of those other decks that are trying to race you. It can swing the game pretty quickly. I look forward to seeing what the last few Slivers are that are revealed, but Slivers could be a real archetype, especially after counterspells are valid again. Once Cavern of Souls rotates out, being able to put down 1 or 2 quick creatures and then defend your board state and do some heavy damage could be a very strong strategy again. Dark Prophecy. Oh, I'm divided over this card. I love seeing triple black in a casting cost. Black mages should be encouraged to play heavy black decks, and if there's going to be a powerful ability, it should have 2 or 3 black in the casting cost. Love the casting cost. I like the artwork. I'm not sure what's dead in the background. The ability here could end up being really good. When creatures die, being able to draw cards, lose some life, especially combined in some other way with a way to gain back life. This could be a new engine, either for some type of combo deck, which I'm less excited about, but it could be a really nice way to get some card advantage in a quick aggro type deck. A board wipe looks much less appealing for your opponent when you're going to get to draw a full hand of cards to recast for the next turn. Also, things like Gravecrawler, which could be abused coming back again and again. This could be another card draw engine possibility. I like this card a lot. I'm not sure it's going to make my top 10. I'm still looking at it pretty closely, but I love the mechanic. I love the casting cost, and even like the artwork. Young Pyromancer. Now this guy's an uncommon. He's a 2/1/4/1 with amazing potential. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, put a 1/1 red elemental token onto the battlefield. I've seen some interesting builds with this guy already in Vintage and in Modern, where you can cast a significant number of cantrip spells or free spells very quickly. This guy could end up doing a lot of damage. He could be a great support card in a very fast burn deck. I like the design. I like that he's only at uncommon. He may be extremely playable. I'm definitely watching him, and he's at least making it to my honorable mentions on the top 10. Garruk, Caller of Beasts, or Garruk Nail, the new Tooth and Nail Garruk. This guy rocks. He is really, really powerful for EDH. The +1 may be able to net you several creatures. The -7 is just nuts. Being able to use every single creature you play as a Tooth and Nail to go grab another creature and put it into play, just incredible. I like this card a lot as a casual kitchen table card, but if you've got the right build, he might even be a really good 1 of or 2 of at the top of your curve to get back some nice card advantage after you've cleared out all your cards. And if you throw 1 or 2 bombs in your deck that you're able to fetch later, you may have another game-winning alternative. I like the design. He's 6 casting cost. I know he's a little bit expensive, but the -3 ability here is also just amazing. You may be able to build a ramp deck directly around him and then drop giant things like World Spireworm into play with this -3 ability. Planeswalkers, to be amazing, need the ability to protect themselves. Liliana the Veil can force your opponent to sacrifice a creature. Jace the Mind Sculptor can put a creature back in your opponent's hand. Tamiyo can lock something down. Garruk can drop an amazingly large creature or even a mid-range creature for that -3. If you've got Garruk and something else like a Thragtusk in your hand, you're going to get a solid 2 cards out of this. And then you've got the board presence to keep him alive to refill your hand. Very nice design on a card. I look forward to playing him in EDH and maybe even in Standard. Now, this is the card that really, really makes me excited. Scavenging Ooze is incredible. I was playing this guy in Maverick before Legacy went all combo, and more often than not, this was the card that won me games in fair matches. When my opponent was trying to do something like burn me out early on in the game or race me, having a Scavenging Ooze, getting that life gain and then stopping my opponent's Tarmogoyfs was really, really nice. Now, I know there's 2 versions of artwork out there for it. I'm not sure how these guys are available yet. I know one of them is available right now in Duels of the Planeswalker. For the Android version, you go out, buy it online, and redeem it at stores. I would do that right away because it's only like $10 to buy Duels of the Planeswalker, and this card is going to be worth 25 plus long term. He's going to make an impact in Standard, and he's going to make a huge splash in Modern, where Tarmogoyf is the go-to damage guy. This guy also works against Deathrite Shaman. All 3 of Deathrite Shaman's abilities are targeted. So they go to target something, including that ability that looks like a mana ability, and you'll be able to exile that, blanking them. I love this card. Pick them up now while they're reasonable. This is going to be a great long-term card. Thanks. This has been Brian Rowe with a Mythic MTG Tech preview for M14. I'll have a full top 10 list out here in about a week after the full spoilers are done. Also, just to let you guys know, I am on Twitter as a Mythic MTG Tech. If you guys are on Twitter, I'm more than happy to chat with people on Twitter. I'm spending more time there, and I'd love to build a community up there. Thanks.
Come to the dark side of Twitter.